The room went silent the moment he said it. "You're not worth my time." Those 6 words didn't just echo across the polished boardroom table, they cut through the air like something sharp, something final. Executives shifted in their chairs. Eyes dropped. No one dared to speak. And standing there, holding a worn folder in his hands, was a single father who looked like he had already been turned away by life too many times. But what happened next, no one in that room would ever forget. Before we dive into this powerful story, take a moment to support the channel, Echoes of Stories. Like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments, because stories like this deserve to be heard. The morning had started like any other for Daniel Carter. He woke up before sunrise in his small apartment in Cleveland, quietly slipping out of bed so he wouldn't wake his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. He made her breakfast, packed her lunch, and gently brushed her hair while she sleepily leaned against him. To her, he was just Dad. To the world, he was invisible. Daniel worked 2 jobs, one as a janitor at a local school, the other delivering groceries late into the night. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years ago, he had been everything for Lily. Provider, protector, comfort. But that morning was different. That morning, Daniel wasn't heading to clean floors or deliver bags. He was heading to the tallest building downtown, a place where decisions worth millions were made in minutes. Clutched in his hand was an idea. A simple, practical solution he had thought about during late nights and early mornings. A cost-saving system for energy usage in large office buildings, something he believed could help companies save money while also helping the environment. He had no degree. No connections. Just a belief that maybe, just maybe, someone would listen. After weeks of emails and rejections, he finally received a short reply from a corporate assistant: "You have 5 minutes. Tuesday. 9 a.m. That was all he needed. When Daniel walked into the building, everything felt too clean, too perfect. Glass walls. Marble floors. People in suits moving quickly, like time itself mattered more there. He was escorted into the boardroom, where 10 executives sat around a long table. At the head was Richard Langford, the CEO, a man known for his sharp mind and even sharper tongue. Daniel's hands trembled slightly as he began. He spoke simply. Clearly. No fancy words. No corporate jargon. Just an honest explanation of his idea. He explained how small adjustments in energy systems could save thousands of dollars each month. He spoke about sustainability, about efficiency. At first, no one interrupted. But as Daniel reached the middle of his explanation, the CEO leaned back in his chair, glanced at his watch, and sighed. Then came the words. "You're not worth my time." Just like that. No discussion. No questions. Just dismissal. A quiet wave of discomfort moved through the room. One executive looked down. Another cleared his throat. But no one challenged the CEO. Daniel stood there, frozen. For a second, it felt like everything inside him collapsed. The long nights, the hope, the courage it took just to stand in that room, it all seemed foolish now. He could have walked away. Most people would have. But then he thought about Lily. About the nights she asked why he worked so much. About the way she smiled when he promised her things would get better someday. And somehow, that gave him the strength to speak. He took a small step forward, his voice steady but quiet. "Sir. I understand I may not look important to you." The CEO didn't respond. He simply stared, impatient. "But before I go," Daniel continued, "I just want to say one thing." The room grew still. "My daughter doesn't care how much money I make. She doesn't care that I'm not a businessman. To her, I'm worth everything." A pause. "And I believe, every person who walks into a room like this deserves at least 5 minutes of respect. Not because of who they are, but because of what they might become." Silence. Not the uncomfortable kind. Not the awkward kind. The kind that makes people think. The CEO's expression didn't change immediately. But something in the room shifted. One executive leaned forward. Another slowly nodded. Daniel lowered his gaze, realizing he had said his piece. He turned to leave. Wait. The voice came from the CEO. Daniel stopped. Richard Langford leaned forward, folding his hands on the table. For the first time since the meeting began, he wasn't looking at his watch. Sit down, he said. The next 15 minutes were different. Questions were asked. Real ones. Daniel explained his idea again, this time with more confidence. The executives began to engage, to discuss, to challenge. And the CEO listened. By the end of the meeting, something unexpected happened. Richard stood up. I owe you an apology, he said. Not just for what I said, but for what I almost missed. A few weeks later, Daniel received a call. His idea had been approved for a pilot program. Within 6 months, the company reported significant savings using his system. Other corporations took notice. Daniel was offered a full-time position, not as a janitor, not as a delivery driver, but as a consultant. But the most important moment didn't happen in that boardroom. It happened at home. That evening, Daniel sat beside Lily as she colored at the kitchen table. Guess what? He said with a smile. What? She asked, without looking up. Today, someone listened. She looked at him then, her eyes bright. I always listen to you, Daddy, she said. Daniel laughed softly, pulling her into a hug. And in that moment, he realized something powerful. Kindness doesn't always come from big actions. Sometimes, it's in the small decisions. The choice to listen. The choice to respect. The choice to see someone, not for who they appear to be, but for who they truly are. That single sentence he spoke in the boardroom didn't just change his life. It changed theirs too. Because even the most powerful people can forget something simple, that everyone has a story, and every story deserves a chance to be heard. So the next time you're in a position to listen, do it. The next time someone stands in front of you with hope in their hands, give them your time. Because you never know. That one moment of kindness might be the moment that changes everything.